I love lathes. I wonder how many times I said that while watching lathe videos, because I watch hundreds of them. And as you guys know, those who are watching my channel, I have a Wabico D6000 lathe bought from Germany 6 years ago. And that was my first lathe. On that I've learned how to operate the lathe. Then I CNC that lathe. So I converted it to CNC. So I learned CNC machining, Linux CNC, and it was a continuous learning experience. But in the last 2 years I've been dreaming about something bigger, something more powerful. And my dream lathe was Weiler. Initially I thought about Practicant, but then my tastes have refined and I thought about Weiler E30, but unfortunately I thought I would never afford a lathe like that, because for a 20 years old lathe the prices were above 20,000 euros. So that was never in my budget. But fortunately the stars and the planets have aligned, and in 30th of April I participated to an auction from a Netherlands machine dealer site, and fortunately I won that auction. So now I'm the happy owner of a Weiler E30 lathe. That's 28 years old. Next you're gonna see the unloading and the process of getting it into my shop and putting it into the position. Ta-da! This is it. This is the lathe that I've been dreaming about in the last 2 years. If I could count all the hours that I've spent looking on machine dealer sites for a lathe like this, I think I would be way above 150 hours. Okay, enough about that. Let me tell you more about the machine, about the characteristics of it. So this machine is 1.6 meters, 1.5 meters long. It has it's 1.1 ton, so 1,100 kilograms. It has 160 millimeters chuck with cam lock. I always wanted cam lock because it's a very efficient way of changing the chucks. The spindle bore is 40 millimeters. Also, what I wanted the most, and this is basically, I got this for free by getting this model, because initially I said I wanted to buy an MCO, but for that MCO I should have replaced the Acme thread screws with ball screws, and this machine already has ball screws. So under this cover there is a ball screw that is carrying the Z axis, and that ball screw is driven by a servo motor. Everything on this machine is Siemens. So I have a servo motor here that drives the Z axis and a servo motor here that drives the X axis. The center height of the machine is 165 millimeters. It's enough for me. And the distance between centers, it's 650 millimeters. Uh, Luckily with this machine I got a few accessories, one of those being this multifix tool holder and another tool holder like this. This is size B. I'm gonna have to buy a few more. Okay, here we have the machine wheels. Basically these are the unlike a traditional machine where when you spin this you have some gears that allows you to move. This machine won't move if it's not powered, because moving this will translate into movements that will be made by servo motors. This is for feeding. So if you want to manual feed something, you will turn the spindle on. Basically, I'm gonna move this sliding door. I'm gonna move it this way. So by here, if you want, let's say you want to do a manual turning, you turn on the spindle and then you turn on the feed, and basically it's like a manual lathe. Or you want to do a facing, you do something like that and you do the facing. Okay, this is the control panel of the lathe. It's Siemens 805D. You may wonder why I'm not starting it. Because I don't have power. I bought this lathe blindly. I have no idea if this machine works or not. When I bought it, basically the machine dealers just give you some pictures, and if you want to know more about the machine, you go there. But most of the time you don't have power to try them. So I did not travel to Holland and to check the machine. The pictures looked fine, and I said, okay, I'll take the risk. So the risk was worthy. The machine came okay. And due to some bureaucracy, due to some bureaucratic issues, I don't have yet power. I mean, all the electrical wiring is in place. This is the 3-phase for the lathe. Everything is set, except that the bureaucracy from the electrical company did not allow me yet to have power. So next I'm gonna walk you in the back of the machine and show you a bit how the electrical cabinet works, so that you can, I don't know, get an idea of how this machine looks. I mean, while I looked for this machine, I seeked the internet for machines like this, for how the electrical cabinet works, for many details about this, but I wasn't able to find. So hopefully this video will help others that are interested in this kind of machines to get a better overview of what to expect and to know before buying a machine what they're gonna get. Next, I'm gonna show you this part and then the back of the machine. Here is the motor. It's a 5.5 kilowatt motor from Siemens. Here is the main power. Here is a 7.5 kilowatts. And here is the electrical cabinet. Due to the way on how electrical cabinet is mounted, I mean on the back of the machine, I was unable to do a different kind of orientation in my shop. I mean, when I bought this mill, this electrical cabinet was on, the electrical cabinet of this machine was on the back. So I unmounted that cabinet and I bought a new cabinet. I bought a new electrical box and I remounted everything to have access from the front. Basically it's like a Tormach. And then I made the controller, and this controller is custom made, run Linux CNC. So from this point of view, I was able to have the electrical cabinet of the machine here, and I was able to move it to the back, to the wall. But with this lathe, I could not change it because all the sheet metal is in place, you cannot dismantle anything. So it's arranged this way, and in order to maximize space, I have enough space here to work on the mill and to turn and so on. But I said, okay, on the electrical cabinet side, I don't have to work that often, hopefully. So I can afford to move this here. and when I need access I can do that and get to the back of the machine and service it if needed. Next I'm gonna open the electrical cabinet and show you what's inside. So this is the relay box. Here are all the relays that are controlling all the motors, all the pumps. I don't know. I think there are lots of them. Don't know exactly what for. And in the other cabinet, there is the PLC, the Siemens 805D. So this is the PLC of the machine. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. It's not something very relevant at this moment. When I will get the power, I will check the machine, see if it works, see if I need to do a retrofit. If I'll do it with Linux CNC. If it works, I'll just refurbish the machine, change all the capacitors and leave it as it is. Okay, so here is just the PLC. How about the drives? The spindle drive and the motor drives. Well, that's on the side of the machine. So if on this side we have the motor of the machine, on the other side we have another cabinet with the drives of the machine. That's made in the base of the machine. And next I'm gonna show you that cabinet of the machine, and if the camera fits in, I'm gonna show you the drives. It might not fit because it's a quite tight space. I have only 42 centimeters left up to the wall. I left just enough space so that I don't take here too much space. I still have room to walk. And on the back of the machine, on the side of the machine, I don't have to work that often, so I can afford being a little uncomfortable. So while standing in the front of the lathe, the electrical cabinet where the drives are mounted is located in this direction. So here you can see the compressor. So I have this space will be taken up by the compressor, but it's also meant to leave room for staying here, for accessing these drives. So as you can see, this is the spindle drive. So this is the spindle drive, and the other two, it's the X and Z axis. It's a Simo drive 611. I was able to find some details about it. It's quite popular, it seems. That's a good news. Hopefully when I get the power, I'll have a pleasant surprise and see that it works. If you want to find out more about this machine and how it's made and all the internals of it, subscribe to my channel and stay tuned for the next videos, because I'm gonna dismount everything and remount it back so that you can see what I didn't have the chance to see before I buy this machine. Cheers.